Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain food chains in the first year zoology in the unit ecology. Last unit ecology. So it is one of the most important 8 marks question in the IPE. So here food chains. Chain indicates it is the link up with one to each other. Food chains. So in the food chains the organisms are interlinked with each other. So we are going to discuss about food chains, long answer question. So the main source of energy in the ecosystem is sun. So sun is the main source of energy. So we are getting energy from the sun and it will reach to the all organisms one by one. So that is called food chain. They are utilizing the energy from the sun. Then these energy flow into the biological system from the sun. Then what is biological systems means we have a different type of trophic levels, that is called as several food levels from one to another. So in the ecosystem we have a producers and consumers and decomposers. So between these all the energy is flow from the sun itself. The main source of energy is sun. From the energy is transfer from several food levels. That is called as a trophic levels. Different levels, that is called trophic levels. So the food chain is always passes from lower trophic level to higher trophic level. So here the energy flow or food passes from low to higher trophic levels. So this is the MCQ. The energy or food flow, food energy passes from which level to which level means lower trophic level to higher trophic level. And also food path is always linear. So this is also MCQ. Vertical, horizontal or linear. Food chain is always in a linear process. And it is resemble like a chain. That is why it is called as a food chain. So always the food chain start with producer, ends with decomposer. This is also MCQ. So first of all in the ecosystem we have a main source of energy, that is sun. So from sun they can utilize the energy with the help of photosynthesis. They can produce the food. So here producers, food chain start with producers. Then it will utilize by the primary consumers called herbivores. Whatever the plants eat by the organisms called herbivores. Then these herbivores are eaten by the carnivores. These are called secondary consumer. Then tertiary consumer. Sun to producer means food chain start with producer. Primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. So these are the levels. So each individual level is called as a trophic level. So first trophic level, second trophic level, third trophic level, fourth trophic level. So first trophic level is occupied by the producers, second trophic level occupied by the herbivores, third and fourth by the carnivores. So this is the food chains and trophic levels. Then in the food chain we have a 3 type of food chains are there. Grazing food chain, parasitic food chain, detritus food chain. 3 food chains are there. So before going to the types, so here also we have one exception. For example, every individual trophic level have a different type of food levels or different type of organisms. But here the sparrow occupies more than one trophic level. So here plants having first trophic level, herbivores second, carnivores are third and fourth. So each individual having the individual trophic level. But sparrow occupies more than one trophic level. Why? Because it is a omnivore. For example, it is a seed and fruit, it is a herbivore. For example, it eats insect and worms, it is a carnivore, it occupies secondary consumer or third trophic level. So remember the exception. Then type of food chains. First, grazing food chain. Name itself indicate grazing by the herbivore. Also called as a predatory food chain. So it occupies 3 to 5 levels of trophic level. Already explained trophic levels. Then it is also called predatory food chain. It occupies 3 to 5 levels of trophic levels. It will start with the producer or green plant that or eaten by the herbivore, by the primary consumer, by the secondary consumer, by the tertiary consumer. So this occupy the 5 levels of trophic levels. Example, rosebush is a producer or a plant eaten by the aphids, that is herbivore, by the spider, carnivore, by the bird, carnivore, and hawk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 trophic levels. For example, grass, goat, man. Here we have just 3 trophic levels. Grass, producer, goat, herbivore, man, carnivore. So 3 trophic levels. So remember, grazing food chain contain 3 to 5 trophic levels. Example, trophic levels also you should write. Then parasitic food chain. Parasitic food chain means here the energy passes from large organism to small organism. Remember this point. Why? Because here only tree. It is also called as a producer like as a grazing food chain. From tree to many number of small organisms, the energy passes from large organism to small organisms. And even though in birds also we have a number of parasites, ectoparasites, endoparasites. So tree is the primary first trophic level, birds, lizard and mammal secondary, parasite is third trophic level. So in only one tree we have a number of organisms. So large organism giving food energy to the number of small organisms, that is called parasitic food chain. Detritus food chain. Detritus means dead organic matter of leaves, dead bodies, dead decays and fecal matter of animals. Detritus food chain start with the decomposers. So all this decay matter is digested or break down by the decomposers. This is also called as a saprophytes. These decomposers or saprophytes secrete some enzymes. This saprophyte example bacteria and fungi. They can release some enzymes. They can break down the total matter into small substances, observable substances. Then it will transfer to the another trophic levels. That is called detritus food chain. So example, detritus to earthworm, then frog, then snake, then hogs. So here from detritus, the earthworms will decompose the total detritus. Earthworm is eaten by frogs and it is by snakes, by hog. So it is detritus food chain. Then food web also important. The significance of food chain also called as food web. It is 2 marks important IP. So here every individual trophic level and every individual organism as interlinked to each other. Why? Because we have a herbivore, carnivore, even though also omnivore. This omnivore, herbivore, carnivore all are interlinked to each other. So that is why the food chain is more complex. So because of that, it is like a food web or food network. That is called food web. Food chain is interconnected complex because of the omnivores. Why? Because they are interlinked to the herbivore, carnivore. It is treated as a omnivore. So that is why it is a network-like structure. It forms a web that is called food web. So this is the food chain introduction and even though MCQs and what type of food chains are there and the food web. Thank you. If you like the video, please share and subscribe.